We are in Bologna Centrale and we are about to take the train to Firenze to spend the whole day exploring Florence.
Hotels are way more expensive in Florence than they are in Bologna, so of course, as wannabe backpackers, glam packers at this point, we are staying in Bologna and we're now taking the train. The train only takes about 30 minutes to get from Bologna to Florence, so it's really a no-brainer for us.
Now there's a lot to see. We're gonna take you with us to see how much we managed to cover today. Let's get going. We bought our train tickets on the Italo website and we paid 53 euros for return tickets for the both of us, which I know sounds expensive, but the hotel night in Florence was 200 euros more expensive than in Bologna, so that's still a win in our eyes. Now, we arrived in Florence early in the morning without having had any breakfast, so the first thing we did was head to a well-known food market near the train station called Il Mercato Centrale. We have made it to the main attraction of Florence, and honestly it is so breathtaking. The moment you get to this piazza, you are greeted by the incredible facade of the Duomo, the incredible structure, and this place looks absolutely huge. Fun fact, it took 140 years to be built, and the facade was actually also added later on. What we're going to do is we're going to check out what's the entry situation to see if there's a part of it that we can view inside or not, depending on the queues, tickets, etc. So we're going to let you know, but in the meantime, enjoy this absolutely gorgeous view. It was at this point we realized that it was a local holiday and all the religious sites were closed, so unfortunately we couldn't enter the cathedral, which is usually free of entry. The bell tower, however, was opened, but we weren't feeling like climbing 400 steps either. Normally you can buy combined tickets to the museum and different parts of the Duomo complex, ranging from 15 to 30 euros. You can buy your tickets online on the official website to ensure your spot, but still expect to have to wait a bit of a long queue. As for us, we still enjoyed admiring it from the outside and then headed to try the most Affogato coffee in the whole of Florence. Before we continue showing you beautiful Florence, let's talk about the place where we're staying. Like we mentioned, we booked a hotel in Bologna and it looks like this.
And the reason why we're staying in Bologna is because it's much more affordable than staying in Florence, and it's only a 30-minute ride away from train. So you're wondering where you can find this place and many others? Head over to planning.com, and if you've never heard of Planning, it is a hotel booking platform where you can find and book your favorite hotels and read reviews from trusted travelers just like us.
On Planning you can also find and book travel experiences, so if for example you are in Bologna and you also want to do a tour to Pisa, or you want to book a pre-arranged tour to Florence, you can do so by checking out the experiences on Planning. Make sure to create an account to avail from member exclusive discounts.
You can start by scanning the QR code that we're putting right here or clicking on the link in our description to create a free account and start availing from up to 40% discount on Planning.
Okay, we have come to Vivoli. It's the most famous affogato in the whole of Florence. Actually, this place historically was the first gelateria, so they serve a really traditional homemade ice cream in your coffee. So that's why you can get affogato here. I'm really excited. There's a huge queue, but let's go try it out. We waited about 15 minutes, so let's see if this was worth the wait. And we got the original one, even though you can also get with pistachio, chocolate and other things. It looks incredible. So
The mug is really cool.
yeah, so it's really fresh. Let's dig in. Oh my god, it's so good. You have to try it.
So apparently the way you do it is you take a little bit of the ice cream, you take a little bit of the coffee, you try it, and then you say with me, this is overrated.
It's not
No,
overrated.
I'm joking, it's not overrated, but it's really good, it's really tasty. Is it worth spending 15 minutes in the queue? Surely other shops can do the same, but I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Right behind me is the Basilica di Santa Croce di Firenze, and this is a really important one because this is where you can find the tomb of Michelangelo, amongst others. We are a little bit unlucky because today is a national holiday here, which means that all of the churches are either closed for public entrance or they're being used for religious ceremonies. So we can't really go in, but it costs on a normal day 10 euros per person to enter and to see these tombs.
We are on our way to the Ponte Vecchio, which is a huge statement from the Medici family.
And if you don't know the Medici family, this was one of the most influential families in the history of Florence, Italy, and maybe even Europe. Yes, they created a bank called the Medici Bank.
And it became one of the biggest banks in Europe. But from there, the ambitions of the family became even bigger. For a long period of time, they ruled Florence. In fact, they became so powerful that there's 2 people in that family who were popes. There is someone who
And
became...
pause on that. 2 people in that family became popes, 2 people from the same family.
Yes, but also one of them married into French royalty, so she was the Queen of France for some time, and she gave birth to 3 French kings. And there is 2 people in that family who were patrons of some of the biggest artists in Italy.
And this is honestly one of the most interesting stories we're ever going to tell you about Florence. But before we get into that, let's get to the place where we're going.
Let's get to the Palazzo.
And we'll share more on that.
Actually, this family is one of the reasons Florence is such a beautiful place, because there was a lot of money in this town back in the day, and that allowed them to sponsor a lot of artists, architects, and to pay for a lot of these beautiful buildings. So they were able to invest money into making this city opulent and gorgeous, and that is something that you don't find in all of the Italian towns.
So in the 1200s, this right here was a town hall for the local government. However, do you remember the Medici family we were telling you about? Later on, they started controlling the local government, so much so that in the 1500s, the existing member of the Medici family, who was kind of heading the family, decided to move in here and make this their personal residence. This was not only a political move, but also a move to let know the whole city and the whole country that they are not just controlling the government, they are the government. So we're gonna go inside right now and see what the town hall / his personal residence looked like.
Wow, so opulent from the get-go. Apparently the family also made a series of renovations while they lived here, and I'm sure they paid a lot of money for it, because look at it. You can visit the inside of the palazzo for about 10 euros, but we didn't have enough time for that, so instead we headed towards the famous bridge of Ponte Vecchio, which has a beautiful view of the river. Just across, we went for food to a restaurant we found online called Ristorante dei Rossi, and the positive reviews did not lie because the food was absolutely delicious. Right after lunch, we passed by Piazza della Repubblica, and after that, it was finally time to visit Galleria dell'Accademia, the art museum where you can find the Davide of Michelangelo as well as other famous Renaissance paintings. This place is so famous you have to book your tickets online at least 1 or 2 months in advance. Otherwise, you'd have to wait a queue this long without even being guaranteed entry. So if you want to go, don't forget to get your tickets in advance. We paid 20 euros per person for hours via their official website. Oh, the Davide is there. The Davide was originally placed in the Piazza della Signora, but they moved it here to protect it. It's the religious Bible Davide before going to battle. So it signifies the independence of Florence. So it's a very important statue. It was obviously done by Michelangelo, and the cupola that is above it was built specifically to hold the statue underneath it in such a, majestic way.
Another thing that makes the Davide so impressive by Michelangelo is that it took him 3 years to complete. 3 bloody years, from 1501 to 1504, and he worked on it completely alone. Look at the size of that. Nobody else could see it, just him, and he didn't use the help of anyone. He just did it by himself when he was 26 years old.
We were exhausted from so much walking, so the rest of the time that we had left in this beautiful city we spent it eating gelato and revisiting our favorite sites such as the Duomo and the Ponte Vecchio. Towards the end of the day, we were even lucky enough to see the local parade celebrating Florence, but we weren't so lucky with the trains back to Bologna, as we had to wait for over an hour in the heat for our train to be ready to depart.
Okay, we are back now. The day was packed, so many places to see. Honestly, my feet are hurting, I'm not gonna lie with you.
As you guys can see, we saw all the main attractions from the outside. We didn't get to go inside. I think that's the one and only downside of doing it in one day, that you don't get time to visit the inside of everything.
So if you're a history lover and you actually want to get in depth with the details of Florence, because it is a city that has so much history, you will need 2 to 3 to 4 days. But in our case, we really only went inside one museum, as you can see, and honestly, it was 100% worth the money.
And also, it was so busy. I don't know if I would have actually enjoyed staying there as much as we are doing in Bologna, because here you can go out for dinner and you'll find a table easy, no big crowds, whilst there it was absolutely packed everywhere.
Yeah, this was one of the things about Florence that I didn't really love. It was the same, I said the exact same about Venice, so I'm not being a hater here, but it was just incredibly busy. If I compare it to how busy it is in Bologna or in Verona or even in Rimini, it's much easier to walk around and feel like, you're immersing yourself in the place, because you don't have swarms of people around you all the time.
Yeah, so I think that's also another reason why you might only want to go for one day, even though yes, it feels super packed, the schedule, but you get other things, which is you don't get the crowds, you get better prices, and you still get to see a beautiful city and learn about the history.
Overall, we really liked Florence. We would definitely visit again if we have the opportunity. So you guys let us know, did you like what you saw? Would you visit? And do you have any questions about Florence/Firenze?
As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more travel content. Soon we will be posting our full itinerary to Italy, so if you're planning a trip to Italy, it will definitely be super helpful.
Again, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you
in our next video.